All right, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. I already made a video about how Kyler Murray was able to kind of dominate against this defense, but let's go to the other side of the ball. Let's talk about Rodgers. I'm going to start off with this play because this was not an awful offensive performance by the Jets. I know they only scored 6 points, but they had very few possessions in this game, only 3 in the first half. They still need to do better, and we'll talk about what went wrong, but there were some positive plays here. This play is a great example of what Rodgers has brought to the table for the Jets. You see how the Cardinals are selling as though they could be blitzing on this key 3rd down and 5. They're instead going to drop back into a zone coverage concept, and the reason why that matters is because of the route that Rodgers is going to look towards. That route is this quick route going over the middle, which against man coverage usually would take a little bit longer to get open. Against zone, it's going to depend on how exactly Arizona plays it. Rodgers takes a snap and immediately looks over and sees that Arizona has dropped back into zone, and honestly, it's open right now. I think a lot of younger quarterbacks would still almost naturally wait an extra second or so, just because that's usually what you do. In football, it's kind of give it 2 seconds to before you throw the ball. Here, though, Rodgers gets rid of the ball as instantly is able to make a throw, and they're able to pick up a first down right there. There were definitely some of that stuff. The Jets actually did an all right job at moving the ball in this game. The real issue was, I think, key plays and really not having guys who can win one-on-ones, as crazy as that sounds. I mean, we got to talk about Davante Adams, who, they traded to go out and get him. I defended the move at the time. I think it made sense to say, hey, we're going to kind of be in a tough spot cap space regardless of what happens. Let's maximize this season. I thought it made sense at the time. But as of right now, it's just not working out. Like something like this, it's a one-on-one matchup on a 2nd down and 6. You see the route that Adams is going to look towards. And again, this is why you bring Adams in, right? To win in these one-on-one situations. Rodgers is going to take the snap. He, kind of weirdly runs a play action, does a whole 360. I'm not sure what exactly happened there. Maybe he thought the running back was going to be on the other side of the ball. But either way, you see right here, is there a window? It's not wide open, but yeah, there is an opportunity. The Cardinals player going to have to try and focus on really just bumping Adams out of bounds. Can't really get there. But his throw is just a bit too far, and Adams just can't quite make the play. So whether you want to blame Rodgers or Adams, I probably put more blame on Rodgers for that one with the throw, but you could say Adams could have done a better job at keeping his feet in bounds. Either way, they're just not hitting on these plays. Like, that's just what it comes down to. And this is weird. So this is a 3rd down and 6. Again, this is why you go out and bring Davante Adams in, right? That's where he is, 3rd down and 6. One of the things that was talked about when they made the trade is not only is Adams a great player, but he has great chemistry with Rodgers, because we've seen that in Green Bay. I don't know what's going on with them this year, but watch as they're just not on the same page here. Rodgers throws this one earlier than Adams was ready for it. If they're on the same page, that's a 1st down. Instead, they have to settle for a field goal. That could have been a 4-point play right there. So this is, again, part of the issues that the Jets are in, is they're not hitting on these plays. This one's another one where it's going to be a man coverage concept right here. So again, need a one-on-one, and this time really no one's going to get open. Rodgers takes a snap. He looks around, doesn't love what he sees, but is able to navigate the pressure well, although is about to get hit. Not a lot he can do. Kind of has to throw the ball now. You see Adams, though, it's a bit of a scramble drill situation. The defensive player is closer towards the bottom of the screen, so Adams is going to say, hey, throw it up towards the top of the screen, right? Throw it up in this direction. I can make a play. The issue is, again, not on the same page. Watch as Adams races his hand up, is ready for a jump ball. Rodgers throws it low, and because of that, they're not quite able to connect right there. So that's a mistake. And you look at just like these 3 plays, Adams, when he was with Green Bay, and Rodgers, they were hitting on those plays. If we say that on the last play, if they converted, they would have been able to get a touchdown, which is no guarantee. It would have been 1st and 10 at the 20. But had they been able to turn that into 7 points, you could be looking at a situation where had they converted on that play, and both these 2 plays in the end zone, that's a 15-point swing. This could be a 24-21 game had they converted on those and everything else stayed the same. So just a few of those plays makes a huge difference, and they gotta, if they're gonna turn things around this season, which I don't know if it's gonna happen, it would be through hitting on these plays. Rodgers also got away with a couple turnovers that ended up not being turnovers. This one, it's a 3rd down and 11, and to be honest, I don't really blame Rodgers for this play, but I think it still is worth talking about, where watch what happens. You see right here, this is going to eventually be ruled pass interference, but Rodgers throws it. The Cardinals defender does get there early. I don't know, though. Garrett Williams on this play looked to me like he was playing the ball. I think reasonable minds could differ. He did knock the Jets receiver away. Kind of the rule is if you're knocking him away just to knock him away, it's a penalty. If you're doing it in an act to attempt to play the ball, that is legal. Either way, though, it wasn't like a bad throw from Rodgers, so when evaluating it, I don't have an issue with that throw, especially on 3rd and 10. Kind of got to make that throw. You hope the receiver would do a better job at making the play, but you get the flag anyway. This was the worst one, where this is actually later on in that drive. This is a 3rd down and goal. This is right after the 2nd and goal play I showed you earlier, so what's going to happen is it's zone coverage, and you see the route that Rodgers is looking towards. It's, once again, Adams' route. And when this play begins, on paper it's not a huge window, and really in practice it's not a huge window either, but Rodgers is going to decide to take a chance. Okay, well, sure, let's see what happens. It is 3rd and goal. At a certain point, you have to take a chance. Here, though, this should have been intercepted. It was, went through a couple guys' hands. You see, the defender had it, tipped it, and the contact he made was what caused Adams to drop it, but still, could have been intercepted. Rodgers definitely got away with one in the end zone right there, so there were definitely a couple of those plays. And of course, this play as well, which it's unfortunate this gets ruled a turnover because it's already 4th and goal, but I don't know how much to blame him for this, but it does feel like this is happening a lot, right? And this has been an issue that he's had. I think one of the probably fairest criticisms of his career when he was younger was he took too many sacks. That was definitely a part of his game, and you're going to kind of see that here. Again, when Rodgers takes a snap, it's 4th down and goal. You see he navigates some of the pressure. He just didn't see the player off the edge. To be honest, I don't know what he could have done here. So while I do agree that, there is some fair criticism to say he often takes too many sacks. He often needs to do a better job at, reading what's going on, getting rid of the football quickly. This was a tough play. Granted, again, it's the right tackle. Usually you want to be able to notice when the pressure comes from the right tackle. Okay, fair enough. Or obviously I don't mean from the right tackle himself, but from the guy who the right tackle was trying to block. Here, Rodgers just not protecting the football. Ball gets batted up and recovered for a fumble recovery. Looked like there was a chance maybe there could be a scoop and score situation. That didn't quite happen, but either way, this is a play they needed, down 18 points in the second half, not able to make it. So again, I will reiterate, the Jets did do an alright job at moving the ball in this game. They just couldn't convert on those key plays was the biggest difference. And given how their defense was just getting completely lit up by the Cardinals, this is what they had to do. They needed to convert on these plays. Even that probably wouldn't have been enough. I think the Cardinals still win, but at least it could have been competitive had they made these plays. But that's kind of the issue, is they're not making these plays and their defense is just playing horrible. So they're a bad football team right now. Good teams convert on these plays, bad teams don't. And unless Adams steps it up, unless a few guys step it up, this is just going to get even worse. But yeah, that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.